And now is the morning motivation segment. You're still watching iBrandTV on iBrandTV. Financial health refers to your monetary state. Strong financial health is characterized by a steady flow of income, a growing cash balance, a robust portfolio, and regular expenses that do not show any sudden spikes. Getting to this stage can seem challenging, especially when you are starting out with a limited income and heavy expenses. And I'll be talking about all of those things. We have with us with a transformation facilitator, Chizoba Akunle. She would help us educate on rules to improve our financial health. So Chizoba, good morning and thank you for being on the show in the studio, because you've been on a couple of shows, but in this studio, very important. Good morning, Chizoba.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Financial transformation facilitator. With the name, I'm expecting you have a lot of money, right? So much money.
Wow.
And there's a transformation.
Exactly. So please let us know about steps to improving our financial health, because everybody could be healthy. Some people can be sick, and what's wrong with them? It's not sickness at all. They just do not have money, so they just are grumpy, angry for no reason. So what are the steps to improving our financial health?
Okay, so it's very important that we know that just as our physical health is important, our financial health is also very, very important. So the first thing I would say is find something doing that gives you a regular income. That's the first thing. So say, for example, you don't even have, a 9-to-5 job. What you're doing, can it be translated into funds? And then I believe that you should have more than one source of income. That's the truth. Because just imagine if your salary was 100,000, with the way things are in the market, there is a tendency of you feeling grumpy, having low energy, and feeling as if the world is against you. So I would say, first of all, have a steady source of income, and then try to see how you could turn your hobby into a source of income. That's the first thing. Number two, segment when you get your money. I believe that when you receive your salary, you should, first of all, for me, how I do it, I pay my tithe, I give to my parents, and then I have savings, and then I have the money I used to go out once a month. Now, it's important to take yourself out once a month, give yourself a treat. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something very little. In that way, you've gone out, you're seeing the world, you feel better, and then you're able to be more creative. So that's what I believe. So those are the things that I think that are very important. Save, have money for your expenses, have money to go out, give your parents, because when you give them, they won't stress you so much. Give your parents, and then don't let anybody put you under pressure. Like, I personally hate to be put under financial pressure. If I didn't budget for it, don't force me to do it. And I think we need to learn the act of saying no when it comes to our finances. So, for example, you've budgeted that this money is for your family, you've given it to them, and they come and say they need money. No is no. My friend wants to get married. If you did not tell me 3 months to your wedding, and you just sprung it up and you think I'm going to buy you a ashwebi, no, I'm sorry. Things don't work that way. You can't spring sudden finance expenses on me. It doesn't work that way. So I believe that most times the reason why we are stressed financially is that we have this idea of how we should live our lives. We have this idea of this standard that we've set in our mind that we need our financial life to look like. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. I'm sorry to butt in. You just talked about, different measures to take, the part of saving, doing the needful in terms of taking care of one's parents. You talked about tithing as well, especially for the Christian folks, among other things. Then there was one that struck out, which was give yourself a treat. You gave an example of someone earning 100,000.
Okay.
For someone earning 100,000, you have to probably deduct transportation within the month to and fro work, probably 20,000, depending on the location, probably mainland to island, among other things. There's really little left to even save. How much more give yourself a treat? Okay. In that regard, for those within that bracket, how do they go about being financially healthy? Because oftentimes you hear financial coaches tell you, oh, it's even better to invest than save. Because when you save in the banks, the money over time depreciates compared to when you invest and there's something coming in terms of return on investment. So someone earning 100,000, there's still utility bills to pay, 20,000 transportation, parents and all. You're probably left with 20, 30,000 or even less. So where's the place of saving or investment coming in here? How much more giving yourself a trade?
Okay, so let's break it down. You are earning 100,000, right? Okay. So say you're a Christian, you remove your 10,000 for tithes. Okay. You give your parents, say 2 of them 10,000 naira. Okay. That's 5,000 each. So that's 20,000. You're left with 80,000. You remove your transportation, say 20,000. So you're left with 60,000, right? Now, for that kind of person, I would say cook. When I was still working on the island, what I do is I cook, I freeze. The office had a microwave. So I take the food to the office, I microwave it. That way, the cost of feeding is cut off. Because I was working in Ikoyi, and you know what Ikoyi cost of food is. It didn't make sense for me to be buying food that way. Okay, so as a female, now, my hair, I have to make my hair. So what did I do? I did more of platings. Hairs that would last for 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Your braids?
My braids, my cornrows. Those were the things I did. So now, say I am left with 50,000 naira. Now, I do my body kit, which is 10,000 naira or less. Now, what I would say is this. You don't have to use an Elizabeth Alden when your salary is 100,000. That's the first thing you should know. There are cheaper options that you could do that are very lovely, and your skin will look lovely. And the truth is, body lotions, all those things don't finish every month. As in,
of course, yes, they don't.
It lasts for 2-3 months. Yeah. So you're able to save. And then by the time you have maybe 40,000 naira left, I would say save 10,000 naira. Take 5,000 from that money and go out. If you go and take a bowl of ice cream, you don't need up to 5,000 naira. And if you sit down there from afternoon to evening taking ice cream, nobody will chase you out. Go to LCCI. LCCI is 2,000 naira for that canopy walk. As in, there are cheaper options. You just have to look inward. Go to a lounge and buy just one. When I mean take yourself out, I don't mean something that is so big. Now, when you talk about investments, the truth is save towards investments, because investments are long-term options. The reason why a lot of people that are working, get into bad investments is that they're looking for the investments that will give them ROI of 30% in 1 month, in 2 months, in 3 months. Excuse me, please, I don't know any investment that gives you that. Even agric doesn't give you that kind of income. So I would say save for a while and then invest. Investments, the returns are actually low. They are not high. And apart from them being low, it takes time. So what I would say is plan your life. I have a lot of people that have done different investments. And, when you start a new investment, you come and you feel as if everyone doing that are not doing the investments are not woke. They don't like their financial life. But along the line, I sit and watch. And within the space of 1 year, it crashes with everybody's money, and people are having high BP. And then there is this, and I feel that why we're not financially healthy is that we have this, I would always say we have this idea of what I should be. I should be 30, I should be driving a car. I should be 30, I should move out. I should have moved out of my parents' house. I should have gone to rent a house. I should have. See, if you are not financially able to stay alone, share an apartment with someone till you can get an apartment for yourself. Don't ever use anybody's yardstick to measure your life. Be you. More opportunities will come. Do free courses. You don't have to do expensive courses. Go to Coursera. There are free courses. Look for free courses. See, the more you expose yourself, both academically, both your career, both in going out, the more you are able to understand your worth. And then by the time you're going for the next interview, you're able to sit down to negotiate a better salary. I've seen people that went from 100,000 to 300,000. What changed? What happened between the space of when they got that 100,000 naira job to when they went for that 300,000 naira interview?
All right, now let's looking at people. You mentioned your financial stability, how important it is, and not, of course, not having to play by the rules of society. You're 30, you should be probably married, driving a car, or as a man, you should not be living in your parents' house. But then people set goals for themselves, and it will seem like those goals, they're not actualizing their dreams, or they're not reaching out to those goals, and it could make them really, really feel down. Not necessarily because they. Okay, now citing this as an instance, I could be 30 and I'm living in my parents' house. I have a goal for myself to have my or move to my place in few years to come, and then I'm earning this amount of money, and then I need to earn this amount of money, and I need to move out, because some people will tell you that they have to get a car because of what they do, because probably going to strike a deal with someone who has a Lexus and you're entering a tricycle, there's a likelihood they would give that person. It's not because he or she wants to be extravagant, but some kind of job needs some kind of packaging, so to say. So for that kind of person, would you say that he or she should just sit back and probably take to a life as it is? The person's job is at stake, or the person's career is at stake in that sense.
Okay, so first of all, I believe in something called the wheel of life. The wheel of life is where you're able to know what part of your life is not meeting up. Now, if you do the wheel of life test and every area of your life is on a 5, I would say there is still room for improvement. Now, what I'm saying is don't give yourself impossible goals. I think one of the reasons why you see a lot of people, they'll tell you they come for goal setting classes. They say, I've done my goal setting, and after 6 months, I didn't even achieve the goal. Is that you're setting impossible goals for yourself. Now, let me use the example of the person you said has an interview and the person needs a good car to go. Excuse me, in your social circle, there is nobody you can talk to say, can I have your car to go for the interview?
No,
then
fake life.
Then you know what? If you don't have anybody you can truthfully tell that I have an interview I need to go for, and I am bidding for serious money, and the person believes in you enough to say, take my car and go, because that's your social capital, then I will tell you that, you know what, pause with the finances. I think your social life is having a 2%. Let's work to bring it up to a 5. Because the truth is this, once you are balanced, we think getting more money makes you happy. Why is it that you get a job, they are paying you 500,000, after 6 months, you're already feeling as if you're dying? And then you're looking for the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Part of financial health is being content where you are while looking forward to the next thing that you want to do. Sitting down with people to ask them, how do you do things? See, a lot of people that go to bid for contracts don't have the whole money. I can tell you that I've gone to sit down in deals. I didn't have the money, but I relied on my social capital, and I was talking, and it's not as if the money was there. And then when it happens, you're thinking, how did she do it? So as a human being, see, don't let anybody give you an idea of what success is. Sit down and ask yourself, what do I really want to do? Where do I want to be in 5 years? This is where I want to be. Why do I want to be there? What do I need to get there? And being truthful to yourself. That your friend at 30 is staying on her own and driving a car, it's good. Be happy for her. Know that, okay, I also want to get a car, but I need to put A, B, C, D together to get a car. You're talking about getting that car. When you get a car, you have to fuel the car. You have to maintain the car. If you don't maintain it, you will go for that interview and the whole car will be squeaking and everybody will be wondering who just came in to disturb the atmosphere of the whole place. So use an Uber if you don't have anybody to give you a car. And Uber will even make you, say you want to package, it will even help him to be more packaged because you say my driver is outside. Talk to the Uber guy and tell him to go offline. And then he goes offline and then you pay him for the day. He will park there, he will wait for you. In fact, he will on the AC if you want the AC to be on. He will give you what you want.
Okay, you've spoken extensively on that. Let's look at, financial health for people now. Beyond expenses and savings, among other things, how do you grow from that place of, what you have now, being contented with it, to where you aspire to be in terms of financial growth? Multiple streams of income. You've just said no one should have, a lone source of income. So what are these measures that one should, take to transit from that point to the next point? Okay,
so there are different ways you can transit from that point to the next point. I said the first one I said was savings. Now, why saving? You're going out, you're hearing information. You hear people say we want to put money together for this, not something that will give you crazy ROIs, but something that looks reasonable. We need to supply this to this company. Start looking for opportunities to supply. Companies need people to supply stationaries and stuff. Somebody says, I want to supply this, and I'm looking for someone to, partner with me. you could look into going into partnerships. But please, when you're going into partnerships, don't just say, I'm going into partnership with this person because he's my friend. That's not the way partnership works. I want to go into partnership with you. I get a lawyer. I sit down. We cross all the T's, dot all the I's. This is how much comes to me every month. Now, that money that comes in every month is extra income. It's not for you to blow and start becoming a big boy or big girl. So that money is saved. So from those monies that you save that come in, you could either branch out to start doing your own things, but know that before you start doing it, you must be able to understand the business. I know a lot of people that are working and are having side hustles. I know a lot of people that are working and they have partnerships with other people who are on their own doing stuffs, and they are getting ROIs from it. So those are some of the ways you could do that. If you know, okay, I don't have energy for any of those things. Okay, what do you like apart from your job? If you're say an accountant and you work in an accounting firm, you have friends that have businesses now. You go to a church or a mosque, or at least your neighbors, they have businesses. They are small business people. Talk to them and say, you know what? I could do your audits. I could help you put your books in order. Pay me XYZ. Once you're not asking them for too much money, they will jump into helping you to even start your own brand. Why, paying you for it. And so you have your salary and then you have extra income. So there are a lot of ways to go about this. There is no one size fits all. You just have to sit down, look at yourself to say, okay, this is the goal I want to do. These are my strengths. This is what I can do. And then how do I work around it using the network of people that are around me, using what is available to me right now to get to that place. And start small.
All right. Now, financial health is not just about the monetary state. It's also characterized by steady flow of income. I've mentioned that. A growing cash balance. Of course, it's more of cash, but then a robust portfolio is important because you can have a lot of things and then your portfolio is just down. And sometimes how you brand yourself depends on how the next person would see you. You mentioned courses and how you can move from 100 to 300. I picked up the one you said, being contented with what you have, what you're earning now, and why you're building yourself to earn better. So why people are so focused about making money, they forget just their social, you mentioned the social capital. They're forgetting about their portfolios, how they should also grow their CV. So I'm making so much money, why my social capital is down and my portfolio is down. I can only boast on how much I have in my account, not how much I have around people around me, or how much I have invested in myself while making money. So there's a need to balance all of those things. So where does the balance come in?
Okay, so the balance comes in. You are the one to create the balance. Nobody's going to create it for you. And so the first thing that you need to do when you are talking about financial health is to sit down to say, okay, what are those things that characterize a person who is financially wealthy? Now, wealth is not just money. Wealth is beyond money. It's all encompassing. So when you say somebody is healthy or wealthy, you have to talk about the person's health. So you can't say that you want to chase money at the expense of your health. And so we're talking about, maybe working out in the morning, maybe dancing, maybe doing whatever, that's going to help you be healthy, cutting down on your carbonated drinks, cutting down on all those things. So that's the first one, because you want to be wealthy. The second thing is people, investing in people, being nice to people. Even the security at the gate, you'll be amazed at the information the guy is going to give you. Even the drivers, they are the ones that know when the next promotion is up, which company is moving what. And then you have to know about what is going on, which company is doing the latest shares. Now, people say they don't want to invest in shares because the return is low. But I've always said all these things are long-term investments. Like a particular company did, they opened up their share capital in December, and it was very little. All of us, some of us, we are investing in them. Some of us are investing in them, as in we are funding them in this country. And they opened it. How many Nigerians took that opportunity? And it wasn't much. With 10,000, you could even get, you could at least get a lot with 10,000 naira. So you see, it's not really about, that's why I say you go out, because that's where you hear information. You hear people talking and you're like, hey, really, this is going on. So you have to look at it, look at yourself. Don't try to be someone else. How can I move? What are those things that are available to me? This and this and this, I have to balance it. I have to balance my mental health. I have to balance understanding even my purpose in that company, because if you're just coming to work and you're just going with the tide, you're going with the tide. You'll go with the tide one day and you'll see yourself at the bank of the ocean and you'll be wondering what happened 25 years later and they're telling me to go because you're not being productive. So find out, okay, what exactly is my place in this company? Okay. When you know your place in the company, you're able to know that, okay, I am supposed to do X, Y, Z, and then not just stop in X, Y, Z, but go the extra mile.
Okay.
Okay, just as we wrap up this conversation, we do not talk about, this set of people often. We talk about multiple streams of income and what have you, but there are those who probably made bad investment over time and they're starting literally from the scratch. So for people like that who either they were duped, bad investment, whatever it is, or they had to battle with life-threatening, ailments and all, which drain their resources, how do they get back to that, point of financial health?
Okay, so the first thing I want to ask is, do they have a steady source of income? Now, the truth is, when you're falling from the top of the story building and you're falling down, most times we tend to look at that top we're falling from. We don't look at the ground that we didn't hit and something you was able to stay us. So I think that's the first thing you should be able to look at. So don't look at how far you fell. Yes, it happened. It has happened. Learn to let go. Now, how do I build myself from here to there? What are those mistakes I made that I shouldn't have made? And, when you're looking at your mistakes, don't blame other people. So, okay, like if it's a bad investment, I got a promise that I was going to, get, what people do is they say, okay, you know what, the next one I hear, I'm going to be among the first people to cash out and I'm not going to do it again. Not knowing that that was what you said when you did the former one. So don't even go near it. People are saying they are cashing out. Don't be greedy. Calm down. Ask yourself, okay, how can I build slow but steady? They are doing those things. I want to be a part of it. What is that money that I can throw away? But just know that all these things are addictive. Am I somewhere that I'm able to control myself, that I say, okay, I put just a 20,000 and they give me a 40,000 and I collect my money and run? Because what happens is they give you 40,000, you put the 40,000 and then they give you 80,000 and that is it. And if it's a life, if it's a life-threatening ailment, number one, you didn't die, you are alive. Wow, that's cause for celebration. So how can I take care of my health better? Now, when you have life-threatening ailment, you don't have so much time to know that at that point, a lot of things are more important than money. Every day matters. So you'll be able to manage it.
Thank you so much, Isabel. It's always a pleasure having to hear her talk. So much to say. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time on the show today. That was Isabel Akunne. She has a lot. I think she's a transformation facilitator. Just so you remember that. But we'll go on a very short break now. When we come back, the sports segments will be on, and also social media boards as we wrap up the show for the day. Please stay tuned.